There's a place in the solar system called an asteroid belt. It's between Mars and Jupiter, and it has thousands and thousands, if not tens of thousands maybe, of asteroids. And I drew this as if we've sent this spacecraft up to explore it, and you can see it's got a robotic arm which scratches around on the surface and maybe is able to break up chunks of rock and pick them up and examine them. It's got a video camera, so it sends back nice, clean, clear pictures of everything that it's pointed at. All kinds of antennas, and then of course we got the satellite dish to beam all the information back to the Earth that it collects from the computers. A solar panel to collect sunlight and turn that into electricity, which in turn charges these batteries. And it was very fun for me to draw, and I hope you'll enjoy it too. It's time to get started. We need to put a rectangle in the middle of the paper, and I'll show you on this one. It goes right here, and it's about this big. If I lay my hand down, it's about as wide as my hand, so I'm going to lay my hand down and put a dot here and come straight over, and I like to use my finger to slide to line things up. Okay, now I'm just going to draw the rectangle from there, and I want the sides of the rectangle kind of tall. I drew mine about that tall. Those are the sides, and then I'm going to go across the top very carefully. And now I'm going to go right here to the corner. Now watch. And oh yeah, don't keep fooling with your rectangle. You're probably not ever going to get it exactly perfect. Just get it the best you can and just move on. Don't just keep fooling with it, because you're probably not going to get it perfect anyway, and you'll just waste your time. You'll get behind, and then it'll be hard to catch up. So just make a nice rectangle. Okay, put your finger here, and we're going to measure. When you draw a line across your finger, make sure you get all the way across your finger. Don't just put your finger in there and then draw the line any which way. Put your finger down at the corner, and then make a line that goes across the top of your finger. And we'll do that on this side also. Now we're going to go down one time, just like this, the width of our finger on both sides. And we're just making another rectangle, so I'll put the flat line across the bottom. And this is the area where the batteries are. And I'm just going to put a few circles with dots on them for looks. Now keep moving. Don't keep erasing and trying to get it perfect, because you can make a lot of mistakes on this and it'll still look really good. Now let's put legs on it right here. I'm going to go straight down with double lines. I like to slide my finger whenever I'm lining things up. I can slide straight across and make sure that one part is lining up with the other part very nicely. Okay, now I'm going to put the feet on these legs, and look, watch me make this. It's like a letter A, only it's really stretched out at the bottom and it doesn't have a top. It's like the bottom half of an A. And I'm going to go straight across here, just nice and straight across. And that gives it something to sit on or to stand on. A nice, good, solid base for it to stand on. Okay. Now I'm going to do the robotic arm. Alright, first put an upside down U right here over top of that leg and put a dot on it. And if you don't have this little ledge right here, a ledge is something that sticks out, you can draw it very quickly right now. And even if the leg isn't lined up and all, that's fine. Just put this little upside down U with a dot in it. That's part one. Part two, put your finger on the corner, and look, we're going to draw right in here near the corner. We're going to put a circle this big with a dot. And now I'm putting lines between those two parts. Okay, move over straight across from this, or it doesn't matter if it's straight across, but I like mine straight across. Circle with a dot and two lines. We're making this robotic arm. Okay, now put your finger right here near the top of the leg and go over. And it don't matter, just over in here anywhere. It don't have to be straight in line with these other things. Just put another circle, two lines. And now we're going to do that claw. Okay, that's plenty of time for that. It shouldn't have taken that long. These are just simple parts. Now I'm going to put, it's just like a letter A right under this without the centerpiece. And I'm going to make it double lines. I'm going to make it have double lines. And at the end of those double lines, I put circles with dots, just like the others. And then, watch, this is like a V. It's like a skinny letter V that slants. And I have to do two of them. I don't let mine touch on the tips, but if you do, it's okay. I like it where it's open a little bit so you can see, that it can go down and scrape around and pick stuff up. And you don't have to do this. It's just a little detail, little spikes right there, and I don't know why I like them, but I do. Then because it's a mechanical device, we'll put some of these little circles for maybe where bolts or holes or something is. Makes it look like a mechanical device. Okay, now I'm going to go to work on the top pieces right here. We're going to get all of this, and we'll do the instrument panel in a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and get these antennas and things on here now. We'll start with this one, and then we're going to do that. Third we'll do this, and then we'll do the camera. The video camera is one of the main parts because that's how you're able to see what's going on. Alright, to do that first antenna, I'm putting, it's like a letter T, only it's thick. It's with double lines. And right in the middle of it, I'm going to go up, circle, or dot, up. I think 3 of those is good enough. And maybe a cross piece on the middle one. And we're going to, I just took a dot there and bring like there's a wire or a tubing, whichever, down onto the main part of the spacecraft. And now it's time for the satellite dish, and to do that I go over here and make a triangle right there. On top of the triangle, a circle, and it overlaps. That is, the bottom edge of the circle is down over the top of the triangle. Okay, a dot in the middle. And now look, I'm going to make a curved line that, well, it's going to hook on right here and go that way, and a hook on right there and go this way. So it's really two curved lines. And it's like a letter C, only it doesn't have a top. For it to be a C, I'd have to put a top on it, but it's very much like the letter C. There's the back of the letter, and here's part of the bottom. But it hooks on right there and curves up and then curves this way. You can just look at it and copy it. After that, put a nice straight line right across the ends of that. Go back to the middle and put this triangle with the small circle on the end. And now I'm just going to go across 1, 2, 3. You can leave these off. You don't have to put those. You can put them if you want to. I like them. But those are detail parts. They're the tiny little parts. They're not great big, really important parts like the dish itself or, you know, the main part of the spacecraft. The little parts that you add on, those are called details. You can leave those off or change them. I'm going to make this look like it's energized, like it's operating, sending out a signal. So I just put those little dots, and then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Now it's like it's sending a signal back to Earth. Here's the wire that hooks it up. And we're just about ready to do the camera. We need to put this one antenna in here. And look, I'm keeping everything about this high. I don't want anything to go above that because the camera's got to go above it. And I don't want stuff up in the way of the camera. So I'm going to put another antenna right here. And you can make changes to any of these parts. You don't have to make yours exactly like mine. As a matter of fact, you can leave my parts off and put parts on that you design yourself. Now I've got lots of room for the camera, so I'm going to give it a big wide base. And you may not have that much room, but if you do, put a base for the camera to stand on right there. I'm going to go up with 2 lines right from the middle of that base. And these go a little bit above everything else, just a little bit. I'm going to put a flat piece on top. And then the camera's going to sit on top of that. Again, these are details. They're tiny parts. Alright, now here's the camera. On top of this base that I've made for it, I'm going to put a rectangle like that. I think this is going to be a rather large camera. I made that rectangle kind of big. Here is the lens. You know what? I think I'll do the other lens while I'm at it. Two camera lenses, so it can look in any direction. 2 rainbow shapes, Antennas. Switches and buttons. Again, these are details. You can change them, leave them off, replace them with things that you create. And that looks pretty good. Okay. That's what it's looking like so far. Now I'm going to put a solar panel over here. This has to have some way of getting power to run. It operates on batteries, but you've got to be able to charge the batteries. So to charge the batteries, we're going to put a solar panel right out here. And I drew this part like an upside down U, like I did on the other side. Two lines coming out from it this way with a circle at the end and a dot. And then I'm going to do the solar panel as a rectangle. I'm going to go from there and go up, go back to the middle here and go down. And these solar panels are pretty cool because they can take sunlight and turn them into electricity, or turn it into electricity. And then the electricity flows through the wires into the battery, charges up the whole big bunch of batteries that are down in here. And every day it can recharge its batteries and get enough power to run for a long time. I'm just dividing this off like this because a solar panel is full of solar cells, and there will be tens of thousands of them. And we don't have time to draw 10,000, so we're just going to divide this up like this. And I think it'll look good if we put a double line on this. Now if your solar panel is bigger or smaller, that's fine. It won't matter. Yeah, that looks good. Alright. Now we just need the instrument panel right here and an edge for the asteroid, and we're just about done. This is a good creative thinking project because after I've drawn everything that I draw, you can still add other things like a four-wheeler or some kind of remote control truck running around on the surface of the asteroid. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's see, for the control panel or the instrument panel, I think I'll start with a circle. Put a pointer maybe in the middle of it. Just fatten up the bottom of the pointer a little bit. This thing could have all kinds of gauges and decals on it. A decal is just like a sticker. And I think those will look good if I use double lines. If you have room. Oh my, now those lines aren't real straight. I'm zoomed way in. This is kind of a small piece, and I've got a big fat tip marker. Well, it's a fine tip marker, but it makes a big line. This could be a decal. Some writing on it. We could have push buttons here and push buttons there, or switches. I don't want to get too much stuff on there and get it up all cluttered up. It's pretty cluttered right now, but it looks good. It looks like, you know, some sophisticated kind of computerized device with lots of instruments. For the wiring harness, that is wires that connect parts together, I'm just going to do this once in a while. I might put 2 or 3 of these across here. And I'm ready to do the asteroid. Okay, for the asteroid, we're just going to put a line that starts over here, and it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. When you hit something, just skip it. Mine's got little bumps and dips in it. Not mountains, because it's an asteroid. It's just a huge rock. And then I'll go back wherever I made, you know, a hump, and I'll go this way and put lines like that. Then for rocks on the surface of the asteroid, I just go up, make a point, and come down. And I may just do that 2 or 3 times. Oh, I want one right here where the robotic arm is. Maybe that claw is scratching around. Now, we've spent a long time on this drawing, but there's still a lot you can do because we're not going to spend much time on coloring. There's a lot you can do for creative thinking. You can put planets back in here, or spacecraft, or aliens. I don't care. You can put a space dog, or just make up things. Just dream them up. Just have fun and create. I was saying about the little remote control truck. You can have 4-wheelers running around, maybe 3 or 4 of them. Maybe they were packed up in here somewhere, and now they're on the surface of the asteroid, and they're traveling around, running over the rocks and everything, and they're sending signals back to all these antennas, and then it's transmitting to Earth. So you can still do some cool things for creative thinking. And the only thing really I want you to color on this one is the asteroid. Don't try to outline all these parts with black, because these lines are so close together and they're so small that if you try to outline them all with black this time, it's just going to make a big black blob. Don't color the background like in here. Don't color that, because if you do, if you put colors back in there and they're too dark, all of this is just going to disappear, and we've worked too hard to lose it. So just leave this white, put planets or comets, meteors with fire coming off the back of them, or just whatever you want to do in here. But don't color this. Spacecraft or whatever, and this could be near the Earth, near the Moon, so you could see anything back in there, even the Sun. Color your asteroid. I've started coloring on this one. Just brown or gray would work out just fine. Okay, now I'm done with that. I'm going to color on my asteroid for just a little while, and I sure hope that was fun.